Welcome back to the Now Morning Show, where entrepreneurs, this is your time to listen up, as a free webinar is happening on April 17th. We are going to find out more about it because it's all about building your resilience. And this morning, to help us do that, we're talking to Shemion Williams, the co-founding member of Entrepreneurship Hub Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Joey Rivers, the managing director of CAST. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
Music Center. And of course, Susanna Reyes, the managing director of Inspira Consulting Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Now.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, I had to say, do I say that the right way? Because we've spoken so many times this morning in your capacity of not just playing or being part of a band, but building your musical entrepreneurship endeavors. And you all have the ability to speak on that, particularly from the standpoint of resilience. So, Mr. Williams, no relation, let's start with you, because I imagine this was born out of some sort of experience or personal heart-tugging, if you will. Tell me a little bit as to how the Entrepreneurship Hub came to be altogether.
Oh, thank you very much, Shanka. So the Entrepreneurial Hub is a chamber for micro entrepreneurs. So when we began early, we looked at surveyed the ecosystem and said the best way we could provide support would be as a chamber of micro entrepreneurs. As a chamber of micro entrepreneurs, it allows us to do a number of things, which is focus on the issues of micro entrepreneurs, which is different from regular chambers, because even though there may be micro entrepreneurs in there, they tend to focus on the middle and above, and the little issues or the perspective of young entrepreneurs, and by young or micro, I mean 1 to 5 and less than $1 million in annual sales. Those issues are still here, still prevalent, and still very important for us to focus and help. And as a chamber, we believe we are best positioned to do that.
Well, it's sharing your stories, sharing your experiences, and of course, learning from them. Particularly with the theme, though, of resilience, strengths in struggle, unlocking entrepreneurial resilience. Susanna, I want to hear a little bit of your experience, if you will, because in consulting, it definitely speaks from a place of having the experience itself. What can the entrepreneurs look forward to in exploring that particular topic from your perspective?
Sure. So Inspira Consulting is one of many services being provided, of which resilience assessments and workshops is geared towards anyone. Entrepreneurs in particular, gearing to the strengths and struggles that you would encounter. But not only that, we are offering within this workshop strategies and areas that persons could take away in the main. I mean, we heard that, the areas of upskilling is one, but we use resilience in the space of multi-skilling. So in the sense of having this webinar is to encourage persons to be part of quick takeaways and the areas of where your strengths and struggles could turn into opportunities for growth.
That perspective. It's often that we have the conversation about entrepreneurs having to do everything and feeling very overwhelmed, which is a reality. But perspective will help to navigate that a little better, I imagine, Joey. I'm sure you can attest to that. Particularly because when we talk about entrepreneurship, we understand strengths in numbers and partnerships. Can you speak a little bit as to the partnerships or the benefits of some of the partnerships that you've encountered being part
Definitely.
of this?
So we have those, morning Trinidad and Tobago, by the way, my manners, my subway manners. All right, so we have those relationships within sector. So for me, being a musician, music educator, etc., you find other producers, persons providing end use for the artists, for example, who I coach,
right,
whether they're videographers and so on. But also, we don't have to engage and network, like with accountants, lawyers, to deal with intellectual property issues, and so on. So being part of a group, of a chamber, we now have access to this broad spectrum of skill sets. And yes, it usually is very overwhelming because as an entrepreneur, having to do it all alone. So now that load is shared.
Right.
And most importantly too, the idea that many of us may not even consider ourselves to be entrepreneurs. Because I'm a musician, I just play guitar and cut a gig. And when we provide those kinds of services, we may think entrepreneurship is just maybe someone producing goods and selling, etc. So it helps to broaden and also to have that symbiotic relationship where we could be of assistance to each other.
Now, Sharon, this would be an extension of many partnerships that the Hub has derived over the years. Tell me a little bit as to what persons can expect on the webinar itself, other opportunities, and how we register, most importantly.
Sure. So if you go to our website, www.ehubtt.org, right? There will be the registration link. That's again www.ehubtt.org, right? And you'll see the ability to register for the webinar and a number of other resources we have, such as where you could find funding and where you could have past webinars and almost all the questions we get from our 2,000 plus subscribers. We put it on there so it is not repeated, and you could go and find that information.
Good stuff. I'm very much happy to hear about the funding part of things. But in terms of the actual webinar itself, any entities that you'd like to say thanks to, or we will see appearing as a result of those?
Definitely. What I would say I was very happy about was Inspire Limited, because they came to the Hub and said they saw the entrepreneurs, they saw the need, and we could say, I agree. I agree from looking at our membership. Resilience is a key issue. Sometimes the word resilience doesn't connect with entrepreneurs. They don't see the importance of it. But when we do the webinars, they say everything that is spoken about, that is what is the issue there. So we know that it is very, very important, and having examples like Joey, that you need that history. You need persons who have been through it a long time to pass the battle of what they know, all the things that they have picked up over the years, so that we are not regurgitating or going to repeat the same errors.
Yeah, we definitely need to improve on things, get with the times, and move forward. And I love that energy. I am certainly reassessing what I think of as resilience myself, because I had to reassess what I think of as an entrepreneur. You don't want to label yourself that way sometimes, because it comes with a lot of heavy territory, but things like this make it a lot easier. This is happening on the 17th of April. How late can we register? Because you know we trend big when it's going to be late. Can we register on the day?
Ooh, I don't even want to say that. I say register now. Register now.
Fair.
Register now.
Remind us of the website to go to.
www.ehubtt.org.
And beyond this particular one, can we look for another calendar of events coming up?
Definitely. There's a calendar of events on our website.
Of course.
Every month we have an event, as well, our big annual forum at the end of the year.
Fantastic. So let me say thank you very much, not just for creating the Hub and these sorts of endeavors, but for connecting us to persons like our guest this morning, of course, is Joseph Rivers, proper name, Managing Director of Cass Music Center, and of course, Mrs. Susanna Reyes, giving us some insight on resilience in a different perspective through Managing Director title, if you will, of Inspire Consulting. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning, and best of luck with the webinar. We're going to check out that calendar of events, and we are going to be back here with more on the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.